All right, so you wanted to dive into Fiona Apple's Criminal.
Buckle up.
This isn't just a song.
Oh, no.
It's a confession, a plea, and a whole lot of complicated emotions wrapped up in one.
Yeah, all in like 3 minutes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And today we're using just the lyrics from the song Criminal by Fiona Apple.
Right.
And our mission for this deep dive is
Mission accepted.
we're going to unpack all the layers of meaning in these lyrics, and then we'll explore how they tap into universal feelings of guilt and desire and that yearning for redemption.
Love it.
Okay, so let's just jump right in.
Okay.
Those opening lines, I mean, just starting right off the bat. Wow, I've been a bad, bad girl.
Oh, yeah.
Careless with a delicate man. We just talk about a confession.
I know, right? And what's so striking about this song, especially considering it came out back in '96, is just that rawness, that honesty.
Yeah.
Fiona wasn't shying away from anything.
No, she's not.
No.
Absolutely. And going back to those words that you said, you know, bad and careless. I mean, they weren't just provocative.
Yeah.
They challenged the whole Madonna whore dichotomy.
Yeah.
That women were often boxed into.
Exactly.
You know, and Fiona was owning her sexuality.
Absolutely.
But in a way that really acknowledged the consequences.
Yeah. And it kind of goes beyond the surface level because those words, bad and careless, they were deliberately chosen.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, they had a big impact back then.
For sure.
And now, too.
And then there's that whole twist where she says she wants to suffer for her sins.
Right.
So is that true remorse or is that manipulation?
I think it's brilliant because it's both.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, if you think about Fiona's background, she came from a family that was really steeped in the performing arts, constantly judged, you know.
Yeah.
That need for validation, but also the awareness of how to kind of play the game.
Totally. Yeah.
It's all kind of baked into those lines.
It's all right there.
Yeah.
And that actually makes me think about the power dynamic that's in the song.
Yes.
You know, she talks about breaking a boy just because she can, and that feels so ahead of its time.
Absolutely. In the 90s, for a woman to express that kind of power, especially in like a destructive way, it was pretty radical.
Yeah.
It was, and then it gets even more interesting when you start connecting it to the religious imagery that runs throughout the entire song.
Yes, suffer for my sins, cleanse myself.
Right.
It's like a completely twisted prayer for forgiveness.
Yeah, like she's using the language of religion to deal with these very human and very messy emotions.
Yeah.
You know?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But is she really, even after redemption?
That's the question.
Because then she says, he's all I ever knew of love.
Right.
And then suddenly it seems less about guilt and more about just holding on to him.
Exactly. And it makes you question, is her desire for redemption genuine, or is it just fueled by the fear of losing this man?
Yeah.
And then there's another question, is this even really love, or is it something more like dependence?
Right.
You know?
Yeah, totally. And okay, here's where my head starts to spin a little bit. Because we get to those closing lines. The devil wants to know.
Yeah.
And that repeated plea for a good defense.
It's so good.
Who is she trying to convince here?
I think that's the genius of it.
Okay.
Fiona leaves it deliberately ambiguous.
Okay.
So is she fighting like the devil of her own impulses? Or is she maybe trying to justify herself to someone else or even society as a whole?
Wow. Yeah.
It's really interesting.
It is.
And the lack of resolution forces us to kind of confront those same questions within ourselves.
Totally.
So,
yeah. And so in just these few verses, we've gone on this intense journey through guilt and desire, the yearning for redemption.
It's wild.
It's like Fiona bottled up all of these really complicated emotions and just unleashed them in Criminals.
Totally.
And it leaves us with this really powerful question.
What's that?
What does redemption really even mean?
I don't know. Is it something we earn through suffering?
Mm-hmm.
Is it something that we choose for ourselves? Maybe it's something we're just constantly striving for but never actually reach.
Wow. Okay, I'm definitely going to be listening to this song differently now.
I think we all are.
Thank you so much for taking this deep dive with us.
Of course.
It's amazing what you can discover when you really unpack the layers of a song like Criminal.
It really is.
So until next time, keep listening, keep thinking, and we'll see you on our next deep dive.
See ya.